step now for the juvenile fillies to 14 of them across the track. Here's Seth on their way. End of the dance on the outside, broke a little sideways, broke KK, but meanwhile it's going to be stopped. They're running on now, and Somali Lemonade's got 8 to make up. They come to the top of the lane. Stop Shopping Maria's got a lot left. Stop Shopping Maria goes on. Sweet Cat is right there. Hard Luck to right. Royal Body is running on. Past the 8 ball way comes. Stop Shopping Maria for the run. Still under a hand ride as they come to the 16th. Stephanie's Kitten coming out late. Yes, Stephanie's Kitten coming fast. Stephanie's Kitten. Stop Shopping Maria. Stephanie's Kitten's walking. Watched the chances, broke smartly, but so did Terra from the Cape. On the inside, Sky Lantern, the grey going well. If he can get through, Sky Lantern, the grey looking for somewhere to run. Wide open. It's Terra from the Cape hanging on. Terra from the Cape tries to go all the way. On the outside now, here comes Flotilla in the light blue. Flotilla is absolutely flying. Watch the chances in there too. But Flotilla has gone right on by. And Flotilla is coming home to score. Flotilla has won it just about 2 in the end. It'll be Watch the Chances, Summer of Fun coming on to finish third.
Live from the backstretch at Saratoga, this is the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Handicappers Report on another glorious moment, weather-wise, live from the backstretch of Saratoga Race Course. It's actually been a very quiet morning until about 20 minutes ago. Claire Court erupted with an armada of horses working out, but it's back to being quiet now as we are into the final weekend of the 2021 season. Bringing in my friend and colleague Seth Merrow, who clinched it for the good guys the other day in one of the greatest public handicapper days ever.
It was pretty
I
good.
don't even know where to begin. I'll begin with what I've always... He brought the team basically to a $2 return on investment, which I won't get into the long and short of it, but that is an incredible accomplishment. We'll see if we can get home from there. My favorite part might have been your best bet was a $20+ winner. No $3.40 for you, home run. And he wasn't done for the day. He got a couple more home at like 18 and 26, and he clinched it for capital off-track betting in the Times Union versus the Times Union. All that's left to do now is see if we can get the $2 return on investment, which is an incredible. There's been, each of us has gotten a day, 5 days. We'll see. But
I don't know if you remember.
Job.
Yeah, thank you. I don't know if you remember though, but when we were in here handicapping, Gerrymander, who was my top pick, I said, "Oh, we're not going to get this morning line price." So
was he 8?
I think he was 10.
Was he 10? I know. Okay, and he got exactly that.
Nailed David Aragorn nailed it, but it was a Chad Brown runner coming off a miss in the debut at, I want to say, 3-2. It was a chalky, and there was a troubled trip, and I thought, we're not going to get this price. Got the price. Sifting Sands, I said on that one, I don't think we'll get the price there. And we got the price there. And then Shoe Lane, that was the one that I thought, maybe the price will hold up. The price didn't only hold up, it went up 2 ticks.
That's
it was a fun day. It was a good day.
I tell people, I said, excluding the, you get $60 or more worth of winners in the paper. That's a Herculean day. So congratulations and thank you for getting the team to the finish line. And we'll see about.
And congratulations to the show pool team too.
Oh, and
that was just insane. When the show pool started at the beginning of the year, I said, "Oh, this isn't going to go." Because you and I have been joking all year long. I don't think I've gotten past the 3rd leg.
People don't know.
People think
A,
that's
how
so
hard
cool.
it is, and B, how rewarding it is. You think like,
and this is the perfect example of it's the principle of compounding. That we all think of when we invest. You put money in the bank and you're looking for 5% or something. Well, I'm hitting with 300% for 3 races, and that it played out. And for folks who don't know, we do a show pool. Hop in this Sunday. The show. I'm not guaranteeing this is going to happen again, but get in all the promotions. There's been free money available for folks during the meet, but it's a 5-race show parlay. And after the first leg, I hit the first leg for $2.10. So it turned 100 into 105. There's nothing there. Second leg was gerrymander, which pays 6 to show. So the money triples up to 300 and something. The third leg, the horse scratches in the gate, acts up and scratches. And then I had Sifting Sands and Shoe Lane. And the next two, $5 and change and almost $7. So you're pretty much tripling the money every time. So it went from that 105, 3 races later, it was $2,900. Everybody in the team,
tremendous job.
Everybody walks away with 200.
I tell you, if you think it's easy, you want to just sketch it out at home with pencil and paper, and you'll find out that it's hard to get to the second half of the card.
Well, remember,
you think,
remember a few years ago when the NYRA started? I think they were the first one those showdown contests. Where every day you would have to, it was an online contest, every day you'd have to pick one horse to hit the money.
I think you remember that.
When they started it, and then other tracks picked up, they've kind of faded away. But when it first started, everybody thought, me included, thought, oh, how hard is that going to be to pick one a day? And they would do it every meet. And so about the 3rd go-around of the contest, you realized, well, like half the group is out 2 days.
Yeah.
And you realize maybe this isn't as easy.
Delmar had that years ago also. I'll tell you one, baseball has one. I think they didn't have it last year, obviously, and I don't think it is. You had to pick a player to get a hit, and they were chasing, you were piecing together Joe DiMaggio's streak to 56, and the prize was like $1 million. I don't think anybody got to the 20s. And you got to choose whomever you wanted. You can pick Tony Gwynn every day, but it's hard, folks, to hit the show pool, but that is a major score. And I'll tell you, Sifting Sands, boy, really, when he won at $50 early in the meet, that was a spot I thought, but he ran great the other day, came charging in the lane in the familiar Peter Brandt silks, and scored and paid a good price once again. But great job, wrapping it up. The weather is perfect.
It was fun. Oh, yeah. It's going to be a great...
you got a spot with Steve Asmussen yesterday.
Yeah, tune in today on Racing Across America. John Embriel's going to come over and visit. That's going to be fun. Have Jason Brinkman and Brian Spagnola. They're from America's Pastime Stables, and you may have seen their silks out on the track. They've had a few runners at the meet with the baseball, but they're Amsterdam guys, so I thought, well, I'll bring them in, let them talk a little bit about their partnership. Pat McKenna.
He's an Amsterdam guy at the time. He just throws it out there like everybody knows.
Well, I think most.
You finish in the top 10, but everybody doesn't know where you're from,
You're probably right. I also have Pat McKenna on from NYRA. We will do. Boy, you aren't kidding there.
Yes. After it was quiet, you're figuring people moving on and everything, but today it jumped right back like the first 2 weeks of the meet, and it's still going on.
The nice weather. Pat McKenna's going to come over from NYRA, kind of a little meet recap, look at the weekend ahead, because this is Fan Appreciation Week, and then a little setup of Belmont as well. And then Jim and Tina Bond will come over. I know Jim's coming over. I think Tina's probably going to join him as well. But I kind of feel like we're neighbors. I feel like we go out on our front lawn and pick up our newspaper in the morning, and they're driving to work and waving as they go by. as they walk their horses down from their Gridley
Seth,
Avenue
I think it's more
stable.
like when you show up on the front porch, they're wrapping up their day. They're not starting their day.
They're not driving, they're in the middle.
They're pretty
yeah,
early.
yeah.
You're getting here.
Yeah.
And when are you going to run the
but
Steve
tomorrow,
Asmussen piece?
Yesterday, Steve Asmussen, after TV wrapped up here, Asmussen, I said it.
We needed cue cards.
I said it correctly.
I hope
correctly
so.
when he sat down. When he left,
very
I'm not sure,
engaging.
but
He came over and he said he gave you 30 minutes.
Yeah, really good interview with Steve Asmussen, who again, said, and that'll be tomorrow on Racing Across.
Now I don't want to beat the interview, but did you bring up the horse at Ellis Park at all? Because
yes,
okay.
yeah.
All right, I'll leave it alone. You can watch it.
Yeah, because you had brought it up earlier, but I had pulled up the nominations for the hopeful. He was on the nominations, so we Stellar Tap. I said, is Stellar Tap going? I said, is Guntown going? He said, no, Gunite is going to go.
Gunite's going to go, coming off the second place finish in the Saratoga Special.
Right.
Who ran
headed to the Iroquois.
I mean, the winner was clearly, just demonstrative, but Gunite did a lot of hitting up front and held on for a second. I liked Gunite in that spot. I didn't realize the Francesa Liasa, the house was going to run so big, but that should be good. But it's always a big weekend.
Yeah.
It was shocking to me, and I knew it was coming, to download Saturday's card yesterday and to see the Flower Bowl, the Jockey Club Gold Cup. And people should, if you're Seth and my age, there was a time when, before the Breeders' Cup, the Flower Bowl was like the Breeders' Cup Filly and Mare turf race. This has always been a gigantic race, and obviously the Jockey Club Gold Cup used to be the Breeders' Cup Classic type race in America. Used to be 2 miles when I was a kid. They used to start at the 7 furlong pole at Aqueduct, and then they made it a half-mile race, a mile-and-a-half race, and then what was it? I think Easy Going might have won the last one at a mile-and-a-half, and then I think in '90, Flying Continental won it at a mile-and-a-quarter, prepping for the Breeders' Cup, which was also being held at Belmont Park that year. And we were talking about this, Seth, the other day, and you years ago, Seth, you were talking about, and I think the horse to bring up is Go Zapper. How brief a career could you have and get in the Hall of Fame? Then we started talking about, would there be 3 prep races or 2 prep races for the Kentucky Derby? Now the conversation's moved. Has Saratoga, this meet, become the jumping off point?
Well, you jumped on that
right,
one.
That was the one. Well, yes.
You said 3 or 4 years ago this is going to happen, and I not only happened. Now I think when a guy wins a big race up here, the question is, will you have another? I think it's unusual if they do plan something in between.
I wonder if we're going to still call it the Belmont Fall Championship meet. It's just the way this has evolved, literally 10, 15 years with this. I just want to call it, trainers just, I think, want more spacing between it. So that what that means is they're going to run less often, but they want this spacing. And it seemed like, and the guy that said it, that you kind of chuckled, was Richard Dutcher Jr. years ago with Boys at Toscanova after he was runner-up in the hopeful. He just said, I'll see you at the Breeders' Cup. And we're like, no, nobody does that, especially with a 2-year-old. But now I just saw it coming, and it's good for us personally in a way, because now these horses are going to be cranked up. They're going to come for the big races, etc. But, boy, I'll tell you, I think you're going to see a lot of horses nowadays when they go to the Breeders' Cup. That last line is going to say Saratoga or Del Mar predominantly, except for juveniles. I think juveniles, even though Boys at Toscanova did okay, the juveniles, I think, have to run a time or two. But I think we've arrived at that point where Saratoga is the jump-off point for the Breeders' Cup nowadays, and I don't think there's any going back.
No, absolutely.
Because Brian Nadeau yesterday said Latruska might run 3 times before the Breeders' Cup. And he had said something, she has to have the record of winning in a single campaign, the most winning you're in. She's like gobbled them all up. It's like everybody else has to pay. She just keeps winning. Any other thoughts before we get in?
I don't think so. I think
Okay.
we've covered it all. Went through today's show, and tomorrow tune in as well. Tomorrow, regular times tomorrow, 9 a.m. for Handicapper Support, 10 a.m. for racing across America. And that'll be the game plan throughout the weekend, so keep that in mind.
Tremendous.
But yeah, looking forward to it. Hoodie on Sunday. Don't forget that. I'll talk about that a little more with Pat McKenna.
Giveaway?
There's a giveaway on Sunday. The Saratoga hoodie, free with pay admission. Supplies last, and your last shot at the low rollers up here on Sunday. Man, I tried yesterday. I've been chasing those low rollers all meet long. I've gotten off to good starts.
Can't win them all, Seth.
I can't
winning out of the show
I can't
pool. You
sustain.
can't keep winning. One quick note, because I think it's been obvious probably for a while, but Luis Saez 2 days ago got shut out, but got the 2-bagger yesterday. There's been very few bagels for Luis Saez. Been one of the better meets you ever can experience up here. It started on day 1 with 3, followed up on day 2 with 3, and basically he was off to the races, all puns intended. He's had a great meet, and I'll say something. I'm not the giveaways. It's not a big thing to me. The T-shirt collection idea I always thought was nice because I like that type of thing. But I will say the one that I always liked, and I liked how Naira did it, was the bobblehead for the jockey. You got your bobblehead for winning the meet, and then they put the silks on for the leading owner of the year. And I thought that was a great idea. Like, not just an arbitrary marketing idea, it was an accomplishment type of idea. And as Luis Saez was doing so well this year, I was like, boy, I wish the bobblehead existed. I have them all. Bobbleheads I always liked. I always liked those collection. Remember the year they gave out the 2 Angel Corderos? And like every 20th one was the purple one.
Yeah.
I have both.
I forgot about that.
I have both.
Yeah,
so,
very good.
Luis Saez and Karen McLaughlin, congratulations on a great meet. Stay healthy, get through the weekend. The opener.
I will
Yes.
toss out, because I just pulled up the promos that are coming up.
That's what I was actually fishing for a couple times. I was like,
and I didn't have it in front of me, but I pulled it up.
There's got to be something.
Bounty bet today. There's over $1,100 available for the bounty. All you have to do to take your shot at the bounty, play the late pick 5 today here at Saratoga with your Capital LTV bet account. Again, there's over $1,100 in the bounty. There's also a $100 trifecta challenge down at the Clubhouse Racebook. If you want to make that your venue this afternoon, you can jump in for the trifecta challenge. Tomorrow, the Saratoga Syndicate takes their last swing. I'm guessing the Syndicate is full. You can check the website to see. But as I say, I'm thinking that's full. But again, a couple other promos over the weekend that you can definitely put your name in the hat to potentially get on the teams. Tomorrow, there's a $100 pick 3 bankroll. I'll have that, so keep that in mind for tomorrow. Saturday. Sunday, there's the show pool bankroll, so keep that in mind for Sunday. But in the meantime, on Saturday, there's a $100 play the board contest down at the Clubhouse Racebook. That's tomorrow, Saturday, and Sunday at the Racebook. Pick 4 and a match bet promotion all coming up at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue in Albany. So that takes you through the promos. You can also catch up with those anytime at capitalotv.com.
I will have a firm number tomorrow, but I think since we raced on Sunday, August 15th, we had the 2 dark days, we came back on August 18th, I think Seth favorites are north of 45% since August 18th. They had the 1 week where they were at 53%, and they haven't dipped much below that, but I'll come up with a firm number. So far today, I do know there's 126 races since commencing on August 18th, and I think we are north of 50 favorites winning
I can give you from the recap yesterday. I can give you the overall favorites.
Okay,
just under 40%, 39.2% for the meet, which is incredible.
And
close to 40%.
This number I'm going to come up with tomorrow is going to be, even if we go 0 for today, the favorites have, you had the pick 5 on Travers Day, bat your eye, etc. So, but let's get into it. But the kudos to the people, because the inclement weather didn't slow them down, and they've done fantastic.
And speaking of that, I don't think I'm going to be able to pull up the number quickly, but it was over $750,000. It was Wednesday, was it, or Sunday? Naira passed their all-time Saratoga handle with like 5 days to go. $750 million. I said $1 million. $750 million. It was over 750,000.
Did you about 20 million a day? 30 days is 60 million. So, congratulations. I mean, I think the betting menu is. I know you would truly like the 50-cent pick 3, Woodbine has a 20-cent pick 5, Seth. But
I love the 20-cent increments up at Woodbine, and people think that where will the value be? But if you can get a clever horse in there, you can still get a little bit of a price. Yeah, so
right.
that's fun up there. But I've kind of adjusted to. I've been playing a little $1 pick 3 here. Because I like it to back
I'm
up
sure you'll
sometimes.
mention to Pat McKenna as he's going off the stage.
Well, I've mentioned it to everybody over there multiple times.
Open company in the opener, 2-year-olds, maiden claimers, in for 75, racing 6.
I went 2, 4, 5, and 3. The 1 scares me as well from Napoleon Rudy
pick.
Rodriguez. Yeah, I'll let you talk about it. But
Okay.
As I say, I left that one just off and scares me. But I put Bet on top. Steve Asmussen trained, Asmussen trainee, second time out, and that's a factor with the Asmussen horses. And this one by Bayern has a little win early breeding. I found it interesting that they shipped the horse up to Woodbine in mid-July.
How many horses do you think Steve has?
I don't know, but it's
saddled.
just,
I doubt he saddled on July 18th, the horse, but
a funny, because the horse had worked July 8th down at Belmont, and then they ship up to Woodbine. So I just found an interesting scenario here. They had the blinkers today. They do have the race under the belt. I'll look for this one to improve.
After the race, they must have been saying, like, what was, even to themselves, what the heck was the point of that? We beat one horse in a field of 12.
Horse has to be better than that.
Yeah,
so I'll take my pop there. Second spot, Coastal Chaos. Pletcher, first-time starter by Golden Sense. We talked about Golden Sense.
Oh.
The son of Mischief is a very nice first out sire. So far this year, 64 first-time starters, 7 wins, 8 seconds, 9 thirds. So 15 exacta finishes and 64 starters. There's a couple of nice siblings. Cookies are good. 5th and 2nd and 2nd and 1st to start the career. Another sibling, Broth, won in the 3rd career start. So I thought there was some win early, certainly win early from the trainer. And then in the 3rd spot, I went with Wild Appeal. Maiden special weight to maiden claimer for Robertina Diodoro. That's a good angle for him, so I'll use that one as well. I'll go 2, 4, 5, and 3.
Now, as I mentioned on the show yesterday, Seth, obviously I've pounded my heel like Khrushchev on this timing thing. Shug's winner the other day, breaking the rules. The difference between Trackus and the TV, almost 2.5 seconds. I'm like, but, and I bring this up in this for a reason. But look at number 7, Magical Night, but they register 68 3/4 lengths defeat. That's pretty darn accurate. And we can't get a mild turf race, but they have Magical Night not losing by 70, not losing by 65, but at 68 3/4 lengths. It's incredible at first, but it's not in my mix. I'm 1, 4, 6, and Mo Rewards these are the firsters. I don't want the veterans in this group, including the one Seth took on top. They ran on the Tapeta up there, and you're just like, oh, okay, they're adding blinkers, but I'll take it Uncle Mo with Rudy Rodriguez, and you can kind of feel as if this horse, this is, I think, counterintuitive to our summertime fan set. If this horse is 5-1, I don't like him, because, there's no way this horse can't get bet, looking at the connections, the Uncle Mo, who's just a tremendous stallion. So Mo Rewards debuts for $75,000, which isn't chop liver. For second, number 4, Coastal Chaos, I have in here. Another thing where they paid $75,000 for this runner, and they're putting in for $75,000. I always wonder, Seth, in this spot, you paid $75,000, you can't run in those restricted 45s because you paid $75,000, and up here you might be running, he might be running into his own King Kong, Todd Pletcher. So I always wonder, are you almost betting you're not going to get claimed, but you want to run against a little softer company, and because you paid $75,000, you don't get that special carve out. And if they get plucked off, if they turn around and go, yeah. So, and then for third, Roy Lammon's first to the 6th. So 1, 4, 6. It's an intriguing race to see how they bet it.
I will say the claiming box up here has been on fire. So if you're gambling like that, you're really taking a gamble. Second race this afternoon is a maiden special event for $100,000. These are 2-year-old fillies scheduled on the grass at 5.5.
Out in California, I think they run a baby for 150 tag.
No.
I'm like, okay. I don't know. So Hopefully we'll be on the mountain today. It was beautiful yesterday, beautiful today, no humidity. I am 239. Number 2 is Naysay, going out for Wesley Ward. I mean, I know it's not April, but the man is great at getting his horses ready. How about this at Keeneland the other day, July 6th, 34-2, breezing. How often you see that anymore? When Leroy Jolly had horses, you'd see that, but boy, 34-2. And if this is all correct, that's the first workout of the career, which, you know, you would think would be a little genteel with this 2-year-old, and has followed it up with, I would consider it a gift to get 7-2 on Naysay. Oh, we're not getting 7-2. I mean, this is a down the road horse. There's probably even whispers, but Bubble Rock, you have right underneath. I guess it would be interesting off that 79 career debut. See which one they bet. Maybe David Aragona has it right. I maybe jumped to conclusions too quickly there. For third, number 9, She's Stormy, a first-time starter for Tom Bush. But I think for the horizontal players, Seth, this seems to be the type of race where they'd be very comfortable with the 2-3 and moving on.
Yeah, I went 2, 3, 10, and 6. And Naysay, I know Nay Never, good with firsters over in Europe, and as you say, the workouts and Wesley Ward, it just all adds up. I'll tilt in that direction. Now I'm going to be interested to see, because you tilted in that direction too.
Yeah, I think
how it plays out.
I think they're going to be closer to the morning line, but he probably has the morning line right with Bubble Rock being 8-5.
And people do like to go with experience.
Sure.
I like to
go with experience.
I like to try to suss things out and find a little value. I don't know whether we'll get that here now, but Bubble Rock with the experience is absolutely logical. That 79 for a 2-year-old is legit, and it was a good second place finish to build upon. And then Vaccine of Hope, another Wesley Ward firster, and been working at Keeneland, comes
ever
up.
going to be a hunch play? It's that horse.
Yeah, it is a clever, timely kind of a name, certainly. But I have that one as the other Wesley Ward in the mix, certainly. 2, 3, 10, and 6. And I just looked while you were talking, and so far the reports from all the Twitter regulars who you would depend on says we're on the turf today.
That is wonderful. On to the third race, 7 furlongs, $40,000, non-winners of 2 life.
3, 5, 6, and 7. Risk profile on top for George Weaver. And I went to the race 2 back where the horse broke the maiden, took the lead, and just kept on going. Luis Saez was on board that day, back on board again today. The follow-up was in a starter allowance, so clearly saltier than this conditional claimer. So I'm going to take that into account and think maybe we get closer to what we saw 2 back in the maiden breaker this afternoon in this particular company. Another one coming out of some saltier starter allowances in the past couple of races is Repo Rocks.
I do too, but it is Repo Rocks.
I was just about to say, a lot of people say Repo, but why isn't a Repo like a Repo Man?
You're correct, but it's about the drink. This is tequila on the. This is tequila on the rocks.
Reposado horse. That's
Reposado. So that's why you're 100% right. I mean, you come off the streets, you see that's Repo without a doubt. You throw in the rocks, that's Reposado is a tequila. So that's where they trip you up with Repo Rocks.
The horse to be in the career. Okay, now it makes sense.
Yep.
So Repo Rocks in the second spot, again stepping out of the allowance condition. And then Cousin Andrew claimed out of the maiden breaker last time. So this is a little bit saltier, obviously, than a maiden 20. I don't think necessarily a lot saltier, but when you look at the rest of this field, I think this one will fit okay. So I have a 3, 5, 6, and 7.
I have the same one. If I put Cousin Andrew on top, Seth mentioned it comes out of a maiden claimer 20, and basically in New York we have 20s, 40s, 50s, and 75s. The New York breds, I think, are mostly 25 and 40s. Open company. I don't know if today was the first babies at 75, but you'll see later in the year that ticket price will come down as they work their way out. But I thought Cousin Andrew in the group that said that is going to be the longest price of the 3. But I also thought I like coming out of a 7 furlong victory, but what perhaps just as important, I thought was going to get a nice favorable trip in here from the outside. I think sitting second or third, 2 or 3 lengths off as the winning margin was, and hope that the last 1/8 of a mile we have the goods here and make it 2 in a row. So 6, 3, 5 for me in the third.
Race number 4, State Bird Allowance, non-winners and one other than 8.5 furlongs on the grass.
And it looks as though we have a chance at a full field, and with the rails at 27 feet, you kind of do the math and you realize 10 is the most they'll allow to run because we have the 2 also eligibles. I was also pointing out the other day, Seth, a unique thing in New York, rarely done, and that is they change the rail setting in the middle of a week, which is not uncommon in Southern California. They'll drop the rails a lot on the weekend racing for the stake turf. But in NYRA, usually when they come out on Wednesday and say it's that setting, you can feel very confident you're going to get it for the entire week. And honestly, usually 2 weeks. But the other day they changed the rail setting, and John Ambriel actually, pointed it out to the people that the rail is different today, which is rare. 487 for me, and I took a flyer in here based on the morning line, but I have to tell you, I was like, War Dancers obviously had a very good meet here, but Gator Bite is 20-1 on the morning line. I like the Stallion Series race coming out of it now into what would have been the more typical spot, which is a one other than. And I think we fit in this group. I don't use this figure very often, but you need some type of starting point. Buyer par for this race is 82. I got to run like 2 or 3 lengths faster. It's the 3rd race in a cycle, which I am very prejudiciously pro for. And I'm inside today, and I'm going to save ground early so I can come out late, which I'm going to probably need to do at a big price. Gator Bite is my top pick. For a second, number 8, Christophe Clement, who's had a fantastic meet, ladies and gentlemen, sends out this winner after winning a starter allowance race at 10-1, going a mile on the inner. And for 3rd, right next door, a horse I liked earlier in the meet. They tried blinkers on number 7, Grape Nuts Warrior. They're taking them back off today. This horse has been a consistent runner for Chad Brown. 4-8-7.
I have it 7, 8, 11, and 3. If the 11, who is an AE, doesn't get in, pull the 1 in. But I put Great Nuts Warrior on top. I just thought, lightly raced, there's maybe still some upside potential. Maybe the equipment change moves us ahead a couple of points, and if so, could get it done here. I don't use this one with a lot of confidence, though. I think all of the horses I point at are playable, and maybe a couple others are interesting as well. But Panster in the 2nd spot for Christophe Clement. He had one at the starter allowance last time on the move up to Saratoga. That's enough to pull me in that direction, but gets Irod Ortiz to jump on board today as well. 3rd slot, I do go to the first horse to the AE, so we'll see if the scratches pull this one in. If so, watch out, because Catch That Party off the last couple of races might wind up being the one to beat. Again, does need a little help to get in, however. Austrian for Danny Gargan with Luis Saez on board. It seems to be in some good form this season, so that one's playable as well, certainly with Luis Saez. But I have it 7, 8, 11, and 3. The 11 doesn't get in, pull the 1 into the mix.
And before we go to break, one quick thing. And I like quality statistics, so I'll break it down a little bit. Chad Brown's probably going to run about 170 horses at this meet. I think it'd be clear that perhaps Todd Pletcher could be the only one that's got to be nearing a record. But take that also a step further. He's going to average about 4 runners a day. So going back to the old days, our old days, and I point this out, Seth, and you're in the same boat, so don't shy away from this. The meet in our lifetime as, adults and betting and everything, has been non-4 weeks, much longer than it was 4 weeks. I had 20 years, really closer to about 16 years, 74 through 90, and now I'm at 31 years of it not being a 4-week meet. But what I'm getting to is, when it was used to be 24 days, so multiply by 4, that's 96. I doubt very many trainers ran 96 horses in the old days. This has been
no question.
This is quite
and how many did he lose with races coming off the turf?
The turf, amazing. And I'll tell you one thing. You mentioned his price horse with Sifting Sansbury, who was a toy. Not him. Not Sifting Sans. Gerrymander. That's not the only one he's going to be when this meet ends. I mean, he slides through some real price horses. We'll take a quick break. When we come back, we'll be back on a glorious Friday morning at the Spa.
A day at the track isn't complete without a night at the Horseshoe. Great food, hot music, and cold drinks. So why go downtown when all the action's just across from the track? The Horseshoe Inn at the corner of Nelson and Gridley.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Handicapper Report coming to you live from Clare Court on the backstretch of Saratoga on a beautiful, beautiful Friday morning, along with Seth, Merrow. I am Anthony Mormino. Just a couple of quick things. It looks like Chad's had about 23, 24 winning favorites on the meet, but Sifting Sands, I think, is going to be probably his biggest winner at nearly $60 the first time. Anybody come back and pay for you the other day, Seth? 22,
20,
8,
yeah.
20. So he's had actually only 5 horses. I misspoke. I thought there was about 3 more. But he's had 5 horses pay 14 or more, 14, 17, 18, 22. And obviously Sifting Sands very early in the meet. The Offspring of Dubai, we came in at just under $60. But 35 winners, about 23, 24 chalk. So that's who he is, and on the way. On to the 5th, 3-year-olds and up, claimers in for 16, restricted to non-winners of 2 lifetime, going 6.
Obviously going to be rooting for our friends at Eddie F's. They have litter boxed in here with Gary Siaka. I did not pull that one into the mix, however, but again, I always like to root for the locals. I have it 7, 2, 5, and 4. I put not Calusin on top for Jim Bond. Luis Saez on board, gets a little class relief. Was in a starter allowance last time. It didn't fare that well. An optional claimer before that, and also well beaten. But the main breaker at a 40 tag says this one dropping back in for the tag today may get the wake-up call. But they attracted Saez in that he was on board last time when the horse was up the track. To me, that's a little bit of a bonus. So I'll put that one on top. Debo, the number 2 horse in the second slot, claimed the horse for 16-2 back, where the horse ran 3rd. The follow-up against a little bit better wasn't so good, but it was also with a 10-pound apprentice. Now Dylan Davis jumps on board, so I think we'll get maybe closer to what we saw 2 back. And then in the 3rd slot, I went with Papa Smooth off the claim for Orlando Noda. I think this horse fits nicely with this particular group, and certainly off the last number has to be considered. I have it 7, 2, 5, and 4.
And I'm not a coffee drinker, but number 1, Triple Americano is my top pick for Rob Atras. Takes on winners for the first time after breaking the maiden in the slop right here at Saratoga, going 6.5. Now breaks from the inside. I don't know what we're going to get from this runner, except I got to feel that the rail is immaterial because and when I say not sure, we're going to get early, because you don't have the type of speed for it to really matter. I mean, I don't want to get pushed all the way back, but just kind of break smartly for Ricardo Santana and just get the position. Santana was aboard the maiden victory on July 29th. For second, I'll take the Jimmy Bond runner, obviously dropping down to 16 out of starter allowance is a big drop, but the last 2 races are not that encouraging. But I would encourage our casual racing fans that when you see getting beat by tremendous amounts, 68 3/4, or in this case 39 3/4 for the 7th. You know, the jockey basically stops, doesn't persevere with the horse, so it looks worse and worse and worse. So, you know, take it with a grain of salt. Maybe watch the race and see where the horse didn't really try the last furlong and a half or 2 furlongs, and then Papa Smooth, first off the claim, 175 in the 5th.
6th race this afternoon. It's a state-bred maiden special event for 2-year-old New York-bred fillies, going 5.5 on the grass.
2-1-3. How'd you make your money? Second career start. Tries turf today. Michael Trombetta sends out this runner, an offspring of Freud, who has really become, Seth, as I make these denotations, Freud seems to now dominate the New York bred stallion series. And usually that's not the case over the last 30 years, that where there's usually 2 or 3 stallions out there that are really, I mean, for a couple of years there in the late 90s, it was Tomorrow's Cat and AP Jet. But Freud seems to be a dominant New York stallion now. But I break from the inside, which can be problematic, you know, but this horse showed good early speed when breaking from the inside of the career debut. Now has that experience under the belt. Jose Ortiz sees fit to ride back. Number 2, how'd you make your money? My top pick. For second, I want to count this up for you. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Scheduled to break from the number 9 post position is number 1, Dancing Bella. So we're number 1, but we're really on the outside. Maximum field size of 10, folks. So Jorge Abreu, who has 5 wins, Seth, I think he had 3 on one day. Yeah, so I mean, it's sometimes with statistics, like we say, you know, look at him just 1 or 2 steps deeper. So he has 5, which is great. He's had 14 out of 27 hit the exacta. That's greater. But he had that one great day where he had the 3, but he hasn't run a lot of horses. Makes the career debut for War Dancer, who I mentioned earlier, but also point out it's number 1 saddlecloth. We are breaking from the outside in the debut. I think that's beneficial. And for third, number 3, Doc Rock, Todd Pletcher's offspring of Into Mischief. Beaten favorite in the debut, going 6 on dirt. Now they try turf. 2-1-3.
I'm taking a little bit of a flyer here. 5-3-1-9. Can't catch Casey. I just, I looked at breeding and connections and whatnot on the entire field, and nothing jumped out. But uncaptured, pretty good sire, first-time starters, 56 of them this year. 19 of them have hit the exacta. That's a pretty good number. The Dam, in the first 7 starts of the career, a win, a couple of seconds, and a third. Broke her maiden at Saratoga in that 7th career start, going 1.16 miles on the grass, then won the next 2 starts after that. So I just thought there was enough there to kind of tilt slightly in that direction.
Okay, that's something. Well, I don't know if we're on the air, but we had the horse visit. Now we have the Power Gremlins.
And hopefully the clock, I think the clock is stopped.
Are we on? Remember that scene? Okay, all right. Remember that scene in Christmas Vacation when he's putting up the lights and the real problem was it being plugged in? He's trying to fix all the lights, not realize that the power's not in. So I don't know if you heard it, but we got visited, Seth and I, by a horse earlier in the meet, and now the Power Gremlins. But we seem to be back on board. Seth is giving, he's in the middle of the 6th race.
Yeah, a brief power outage there up here, but we are back and rolling. So again, 5-3-1-9. Can't catch Casey on top, as they say. There's just enough there to kind of tilt in that direction. Doc Rock, a homebred for our friend Roddy Valente, so certainly we're hoping that one runs very well. Roddy, I talked to him yesterday at horse in the paddock. I was talking to him. He thought this
Father
was...
Walt,
Yeah.
did he indicate? I know I'm right. I mean, it's very rare I would ever say that, but I know it's got to, you know. Did he ask who it was named after?
I heard the story later from
Okay.
somebody else, but you can...
Well, it's got to be Father Walsh of St. Pius.
Right, yeah.
Okay, that's where young Anthony did his pre-K through 6th grade learning. Wonderful, wonderful man.
But
Just a great guy.
Roddy thought this one was going to take to the turf.
Ooh, nice.
And there's a little experience to build on, obviously. And then Dancing Bella in the 3rd spot. Trainer pretty good first time out of the box, and that was enough to pull me in that direction. As I say, in a race where I just didn't find a whole lot to latch onto in ways that I normally would.
Not good when the
in a race
director
like this.
comes to the set.
5, 3, 1, and 9 for me. He gave us a thumbs up.
You never got the thumbs up. It's like, you know, the old days when the principal walks into your classroom in elementary school. You're like, I hope it's not me. So when the director comes out, on to the 7th race. Optional claimers in for 89 winners of 2, other than on the inner, racing a mile.
8, 3, 1, and 4. Emirati on top for Chad Brown. Couple of starts so far this year off a very long layoff. The comebacker was pretty good, maybe regressed a little bit in the follow-up, which had plenty of time in between, and now has had plenty of time in between, which leaves you maybe a little bit leery. But again, off the first couple of starts this year, and what we saw when this horse was last seen, which was back in 2019, I'll tilt in that direction. So Emirati on top. Winning factor for Dave Donk, I think, is in good form, comparatively speaking, to this bunch this afternoon. So I'm going to have that one in the mix as well. And Chocolate Bar goes out for Mike Maker, Michael Dubb and company. The last couple of races were an off the turf and a scheduled main track race. They were both okay. So this is one of those horses that can go in either direction. But the turf races are very good. I think the turf races on a better effort fit with this group. And the horse is 1 for 1 up here at Saratoga on the grass. So I'll use that one as well. Voodoo Zip scares me from Christophe Clement. But I have it 8, 3, 1, and 4.
And one quick note, because I've championed him for at least 6 years. Emirati is the offspring of Dabawi, who Dabawi is also the stallion of 50 Sands. And it's in the form and the data, and Brian Nadeau teases me about it. He goes, you must really hate how much data they put out there for everybody. Just to give you a feel for Dabawi, stands for over $340,000. Good luck finding another stallion that stands for more. And I just don't think he's that well known in America. But once you see that number, you kind of figure, well, he must be good at what he does, and he is, especially with the passing of Galileo. I think it makes him probably the most powerful stallion that comes across my desk. 391 for me. I have winning factor. I made a mistake leaving the 8 out. If I was going to have, that's a mistake. That's a bad mistake. He should probably be in 2nd or 3rd for me. But the factor for David Donk draws well in here. I think he's going to sit a very good trip. Tactical speed to be sitting in the 2nd wave. Save ground Manny Franco on the 1st turn. I feel as if that's almost a given. I truly hope so, because we might have to get out on the 2nd turn. You got to save ground somewhere. I have Parlor first off the claim for Bruce Brown. That was probably a mistake on my part, but comes in. I'm throwing out the off the turf race. The 3rd start on the turf for this year, from the hedge. Number 1, Chocolate Bar, excuse me. Not from the hedge, but from the 27 feet. Temporary rail.
The 8th race at Saratoga, state-bred allowance runners, non-winners of 1 other than the conditioned 7 furlongs is the triplet.
6, 8, and 1. Number 6 is Workout, going out for Leah Giramati. Luis Saez gets the call for the first time. This horse makes only the 2nd start since November, 1st since July 3rd. Has shown good early speed. I think that could be beneficial going up the backside. For 2nd, number 8, Purple Hearted. Chris Englehart's runner comes out of the New York Derby behind American Revolution. We saw American Revolution follow that New York Derby up very nicely. In the Albany, and for 3rd, number 1, Gold Panda making the 3rd start, taking on winners for the first time, 6, 8, 1.
Well, we have the Hunch Exacta for fitness, folks. Workout and great workout. I'll have to ask John Embryo when he comes in, what he's going to do with those two. But I have it 4, 1, 3, and 5. Big Bobby on top, the Belmont trainee, just putting consistently some numbers together that I think in only 3 starts, so I think there's still some upside. But they're numbers that I think match up really well with this group, give the horse a slight edge, and as I say, being lightly raced maybe moves forward as well. Gold Panda in the second slot. Nice maiden breaker on an improved effort in start number 2 for Charlie Baker, and I think that one on the move up to Saratoga bodes well, working very well up here at Saratoga also leading into that event, so seems to have shown an affinity for this venue. And then in the third slot, Prince of Pharaohs, plenty of early speed, comes back with a first-time gelding symbol, hasn't been seen since early February, but if this horse comes back ready to run and can show that early speed, might be very dangerous on the front end. In the 8th, 4, 1, 3, and 5.
All right, take a quick break. When we come back, the late Daily Double.
Welcome to the West. I'm Scott Varley at Saratoga's latest and greatest high-rise luxury condo. Starting in the mid-5s, every condo here has 2 bedrooms and 2 baths and upgrades just like this. Check out these oversized private balconies. We also have a gym, a private lounge, and get this, a heated parking garage. To make a reservation for your private condo at the West, call or text me. I'm Scott Varley at 518-281-6808.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Come on.
I want sales reports on my desk by Monday.
Oops. My bad.
Love racing? RTN brings you every live simulcast on your home television, plus live video streaming and race replays on your PC and mobile devices. To order, visit rtn.tv. RTN, a breed apart.
And welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, up to the 9th race. I'm pretty sure that he was the favorite in the 97 Breeders' Cup Mile. The lucky coin for Richard Nemensky. So a horse that very rarely, I think only ran in 3 graded stakes races his whole life, including the Kelso. That was his prep. Kind of ran in the old days, like he might have run in allowance non-winners of 4 other than, I don't know, but he was, he didn't run in a lot of stakes races. I think the Baruch, the Kelso, and the Breeders' Cup Mile.
I'll give you the opposite of that. When I was doing handicapping for Saturday, there's a full sibling to Songbird on the Saturday card. She won the first 11 of her career, including 7 grade 1s. We did Galt on Saturday. But, I mean, you rip off 11 straight, but 7 of them were grade 1 races. So there's the flip side.
It seems almost, you're just, exactly. It's a kind of thing.
But, and yeah, incredible. I have it in the 9th. I have 8, 5, 7, and 6. I thought the 4 was a little bit scary as well, but I put Maven on top. It's Wesley Ward. They tried Ascot. It didn't work out, but I just appreciate that he went over and tried it. The race just before the seasonal debut at Keeneland was spectacular, so I'm going to look to get back to that on the return to the United States. Maven on top has that outside attack post position. Maxwell Esquire, Christophe Clement runner, I think can be a player off the Independence Day race down at Belmont, and then Holiday Stone I think is another solid. And I always say these turf sprints are a specialty, and this horse clearly a turf sprinter has made the most of it, and I think is in decent form looking at the last 2 races. Tried a stakes race down at Colonial the beginning of August, comes up off of that, and I think is going to fit nicely with this group this afternoon. So 8, 5, 7, and 6.
I have 5, 6, 4 in here. Maxwell Esquire fits in here very nicely, ladies and gentlemen. Irad Ortiz, Christophe Clement, Patricia Generazzo, who I've always liked their operation. They seem to get a lot of bang for their buck. And as a trip handicapper, it's easy to follow their horses. And I always think, I never did this, that they disproportionately a lot of grays in there. their
I've heard people
operation.
say that before, yeah.
And the reason I mention it is because the gray versus the green and pink silks, they contrasted nicely, like it just jumped out at you, whereas brown or bay horses, it wouldn't be as striking. I have Maxwell Esquire making the first start since Independence Day. I don't know what you want to do with the hand-timed race coming out, but this horse has run 3 times, sprinting at Saratoga, has been in the exacta. Now, those are completely softer conditions than the lucky coin today. For second, back to his roots for John Terranova. Makes the first start of the year. Stumbled, lost rider in the last effort last fall at Belmont. And for third, Pulsate, making the third start of the year. Came out, ran big, slight regression in numbers. Now I expect to push forward, 5-6-4.
10th and final scheduled to go off at about 6:15 this evening.
Yeah, they've had that 6:13 in
the,
stone almost.
The maiden special is going for $100,000, 9 furlongs on the grass.
3-1-8. I don't, it's a first-time starter, so I can't have a big opinion. Nobody called me, but Goff for Martin Schwartz and Brad Cox is, this is a runner that I like. Draws inside, is debuting at 9 furlongs, which isn't easy, folks, but Goff is my top pick here. For second, number 1, Gale Horse Win. They add blinkers this afternoon going into a new barn. And for third, number 8, Pruning. Shug McGahee, the familiar white and cherry hoop silks of Stuart Janney. Back-to-back third-place finishes on the turf. 3-1-8.
Interesting. We don't have an overlap in the mix.
I could see that. I mean,
I'm surprised you didn't use Pleasure's horse, though, who I think has the edge here with the first couple of starts. Luis Saez on board. I have it 4-2-9-3.
That's a good. Here's my thank you, right? Like the number, like the back-to-back 72s, right? I'm like, well, the buyers say to win this is like on average is an 81. So she has to dramatically improve, and she's going to get bet. So I was like, she hasn't displayed enough theoretically to win this race yet. So that was it. I think it's a wide open race, but she'll probably be the one bet.
Well,
I took a firster. What do I know?
I think she'll definitely be the one bet, but it is a race with firsters in here who can step up, or lightly race they can step up. But I thought the first 2 were enough to land there. Sitting Pretty with the one race under the belt for Christophe Clement that wasn't much, but it was a foundation to build on. And then Federalist Papers for Chad Brown and Klarovich. I just like their runners early on in their career. And we didn't get much in the first couple at Tampa, but now has had some time off. And with the time off, I wouldn't be shocked to see this one come back and be a little bit improved. 4-2-9-3 for me.
All right. It's a quick break from our good friends at DePaulo.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes. But here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two outsiders head to head with Joe Hart very dominant. It's going to be a 3-horse photo finish in the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Family owned since 1980, DePaula means quality and convenience, along with concerned and certified technicians. So come join the family and thank DePaula for all your automotive needs. At DePaula, we think of our customers as family, so we want your experience to be fair and easy. Over $2 million in original factory parts means you receive the very best for any make or model. So come join the family and thank DePaula for all your automotive needs.
It's post time for today's DePaula Play of the Day.
All right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the DePaula Play of the Day from our favorite Mets fan out there, Anthony Stabile. Anthony, good morning.
Morning, guys.
We'll miss you the rest of the meet. Glad you're feeling well. We can't wait to see you at Belmont. But who do you have for the good people on this beautiful Friday afternoon?
I like Principal Stan in the 7th race today for Chad Brown, the leading trainer. That is he's going to ride. You know, Source didn't debut until January of his 4-year-old year. I like when Chad takes his time with these horses, especially the Euro imports that brought this horse over with Tattersalls. And he kind of just lets him develop. He won in January. He won the AON over in the springtime. And now, you know, another 4 months between starts. And ordinarily that would bother me, but there's really few guys and gals better than Chad at getting these horses ready for this. I like that he's let them develop. Just an easy string of half miles down at Belmont Park on the main track. And I think he's got the most blue sky in the field. He's going to have to rate today. It looks like there's some other speed in the race, but I'm hoping with a couple of targets this horse starts to blossom. I think he has a big future. I like Principal Stan, especially if we get that 9-2 today. I like Principal Stan a lot in race number 7.
All right, Anthony, you enjoy your Mets attempt to get to 500 this evening. Have a great weekend. We look forward to seeing you when racing returns to Belmont Park.
Yeah, we'll wrap this up on Sunday, guys. Thanks.
Yes. All right. I will be at Arlington Park when he wraps it up on Sunday.
Yeah, you're making the trip. I'm envious getting out there before things wrap up.
I'm looking forward to it greatly. I mean, I am chagrined that I must go because it might not be there. Everyone that's ever been there raved about it. I cannot wait to go. Johnny I is coming in, and for 6 weeks in the summer when we both had brown hair many years ago, he was the track announcer at what was then Arlington Park. See, eventually he left and they had to burn the place down. See, they chased him out, so he said, you know, well, good riddance, and 3 years later, there he goes. But we'll be back tomorrow. Then I'll be on my way to the airport to go to Arlington. But he stays, I go. Johnny I will be up next, ladies and gentlemen. Enjoy this glorious Friday.
You've been watching the Handicappers Report. The Handicappers Report has been brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. And CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State.